worried the fuck out of us last night, man. Wow. Look how bad this is. Look how bad this is. The madness is it's ravaging. Didn't work. Ravages. There we go. Man, it's crazy. Like, it's not usually this bad this early. Makes you wonder. Especially with everything going on. I'll go. Everyone, where's the yarmulke? You like the Hanukkah song, eh? I think we did pretty good. Wait till you hear the new one we're waiting to drop. Ooh, I'm excited. Record the video today. Ooh, we finally got back to reality. We finally got back to reality. The bus or anything, it's more of a learning thing, but you used to be a Trump head. I don't understand what anybody ever saw in Trump. To me, it all seemed like racist, sexist, homophobic bullshit. And now it's pedophilic. So, funny how Algo's supposed to be the bad guy, but Algo doesn't support the pedophile anymore, for the most part. You still fall for the Democrat side of things. And, I mean, we know why. Your family did that to you. But it's also crazy, man. Trump is fucking nuts. And it's weird to see, like, the guy from MSNBC. First of all, people saying that, like, mainstream media is dead, they're wrong. I forget who the guy's name is on MSNBC. Standard white guy. But that shit has thousands of views and, tens of thousands of comments. It has way more comments than I ever really see anywhere else. But it's funny to think, like, Colbert gets in trouble for making jokes about the seriousness with Trump. This guy just flat out calls him crazy. Points out he's mentally ill. And did you see his shit? Did you see him talking about, and I go up the stairs, and when I go up the stairs, I'm very careful. Obama used to go up the stairs, and like, what? Dude, that man is a lunatic. But I don't, they talk about this mental decline and all that. Well, I don't see it. He's always been a fucking nut job. He's just a straight up nut job. The things that he says, it's just, and everybody knows, like, who the real president of the United States is. You see Ben Shapiro talking about making Netanyahu president of the United States. Ben Shapiro is just caterpillar eyebrows. He's such a awful human being. He's like such a stereotypical spoiled little Jew brat piece of shit. That, like, if you ever went to school with them, if you ever, experienced what they're like, he fits that to the fullest. He is absolutely your standard piece of shit Jew bra, or spoiled little Jew kid. And broke that shit out all the time. Used it to his advantage all the time. But it's so funny to see those talking heads, the Charlie Kirks, that act so one-sided and then promote themselves in such a one-sided way. Charlie Kirk got his ass kicked a lot in his prove me wrong debates. You just never saw them because that's never what they wanted you to see. I mean, he was just, you know, to see these people who don't actually question anything. Like, nobody actually, everybody just regurgitates. You pick a narrative and you regurgitate what you can remember and try to show everybody else that you can remember more shit than they can remember. And it's fucking weird. It's just fucking weird. You're not smart. If you're not questioning things by now, like anybody who is like, yeah, the government lied about COVID, or the government lied about the shooting, or like if you're willing to say your government lied to you about anything, then you should be willing to think that your government lied to you about, or lies to you about everything. And that's something that people just don't seem to want to be able to wrap their heads around, or even like attempt to address. You don't see that shit. And it's funny to me, like, you never see anybody in any position of power actually question anything like significant. You know, everybody just like the fact that everybody just believes the historical narrative when it clearly doesn't make sense. I don't know if you guys watch My Lunch Break, but My Lunch Break is really doing some fantastic work. Speaking of which, I guess he asked ChatGPT how long could people live without sunlight, and the answer is, you know, a few months at the most, without really having significant, if not death, but significant challenges. And I think, oh, well, what about the people that go in a submarine for 6 months and stay underwater for 6 whole months without resurfacing? And what about that narrative? How does that fit? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I've said this before, like, from a physical standpoint, the tunnel systems and the catacombs and shit like that, that is all just the most, like, we should be focusing on these, and we should be asking these questions and not accepting the narrative that we're given. And he put out a video yesterday. I think yesterday was a compilation video, but it's just, he's talking about all these tunnel systems and the narratives that we're given, that all across the world, the tunnel systems were made to smuggle alcohol and just stupid shit. Like stupid, you have to be able to look up at this stuff and be like, that's just normal plane stuff. That's just clouds. If you can do that, then you probably think that the history that we're given makes sense. But the reality is, like, it's just dumb. I keep begging My Lunch Break to do the Pentagon video. But really, what do you think he's going to find that I didn't find? Piece of shit stories they've ever given. And this is one of those things where, like, your average area brother-in-law is just going to, you know, like, if I tell him the narrative, he's going to be like, oh, you're just lying to make your point. Because he doesn't know the narrative. But how does anybody hear the narrative and be like, yeah, it makes total sense that they built the Pentagon all 5 layers above ground and at least 2 layers below? At least. There's a basement and a sub-basement. And then there's probably a significant amount more. But they built all that in about 14 months in 1941 to 43, over 2 winters, because they started construction in September 11th, September 11th of all things. And when the plane hit the Pentagon, that was the 60th anniversary of the Pentagon. Exactly. Not the 61st, not the 60th, not the 58th. The 60th anniversary of the Pentagon is when the Pentagon was hit. Who believes that? Who fucking believes that? I mean, I think a lot of you don't, like, you have no idea just how fucking huge the Pentagon is. It's so much bigger than you think it is. And I mean, a 5-story building is not a small building. But then it's from one side to the furthest point, like, because it's a Pentagon. So if you went from one base side to the furthest point, it's as big as the Empire State Building, like laying on its side. It's that long. It's fucking huge. And you just keep thinking like again, look at the dumb comments. There's no comment there's nothing anybody's going to say that's going to make it make sense. And of course, they're not going to be stupid enough to be like, yeah, I believe that we were capable of building incredible buildings like that in 14 months in 1941. After 5 days of drawing. Because the initial plans were created in 5 days from July 17th to July 22nd. And the actual site for the Pentagon wasn't finalized until September 2nd. So 9 days later, after selecting the location, they started building. And the contracts weren't even finalized until September 11th. They finalized the contracts and broke ground on the same day. I mean, it's stupid. Like, why would anybody believe that? Why would anybody think, oh yeah, the one just made a straight line, but the other one made all the ploopy ploops on the bottom. That's just normal. That's just what normal exhaust does. Sometimes it makes little plumes. Sometimes it makes straight lines. Oh, sometimes it separates into big, large fucking masses of nastiness. Sometimes it doesn't. Like, you just have to be dumb. I don't know. It's amazing how stupid they have us. When it comes to everything Palestine and Israel, there's just no reasonable, legitimate justification. Oh, look. Just a little rainbow midget. Yep. In the fucking chemtrails. It's just a rainbow midget. In the clouds. They're just clouds. It doesn't do this every day. It only does this on the days where they appear to spray the shit out of us, and then obviously the light is refracting in the fucking off those chemicals and shit. Come on. That's just airplane exhaust. Like, it's so weird. And like I say, everything Israel, you really do have to be a rare brand of stupid to support Israel. So much so that I don't know anybody in real life that supports Israel. And as far as the dumbasses in the comment section, I mean, they never say anything that actually matters. So their support for Israel is a joke. But, you know, what could you say? How could you make the rainbow midget in the sky? You can see it through that tree. Let's see. You can almost see it. How do you just explain that? Like, oh yeah, that's just normal. I know that's not every day. I know that's, you know, there's all these, like, factors that you can see. What's up, racist? How am I racist? What race do I oppose? See what I mean? Just you have to say stupid shit in order to make any sort of point. You know, there's no racist here. Because Jews aren't a race. So I can't be a racist for hating them. Totally normal. Rainbow cloud midget. Absolutely no big deal. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. Like it's fucking goofy. The devil's in him reverse. The devil's in him reverse. Oh, well. Obviously, my opposition is feeling incredibly intelligent today. No. Anti-Semitic is a racist term. I'm not opposed to Semitic people. 95% of the Israelis aren't Semitic. They have no Semitic blood. The Semitic people are the Palestinians. They're the only ones that are Semitic. Wow. Look, it's even curving. There's so much shit in the air, it's actually curving. That is fucking wild. Look at all of that shit in the air. Jesus Christ. How many planes do you think it took to make that possible? Oh, I'm not stupid. I was saying that the devil was in you because that reverse said, why is guy so hateful? Oh, is that a name? Reverse image. Oh, the devil is in me. I love how Christians always equate intelligence to the devil. Like, if you're smarter than they are, and you can make better arguments than they can, then they're like, oh, the devil is in you. I had these dumbasses come knock on the door once, and they were offering to take kids to a church. Hey, come, we'll send our white van by to pick your kids up to bring them to our church. You cool with that? Like, it was fucking weird. But at one point, I'm asking him about the Sodom and Gomorrah story, and I'm like, what's your thoughts on that? Why do why are you okay with incest and rape, but you say that somehow it's against gay people? And like, these guys claim to be knowledgeable. And when I know the story better than they do, then it's like, oh, well, you're the devil. The devil's in you. Have a demon, and I have a demon in me because I oppose incest and rape. Is something wrong with you? You can't even read sentences or decipher what is written. Yep, that's what it is. When you don't make it obvious that you're actually responding to somebody, like with the at reverse, whatever, like normal people do, I'm supposed to just decipher it because I make sure I remember everybody's name. The desperation it takes to be a Christian, I swear, you're all just so stupid. It's really fucking embarrassing. But it has to be that way, right? You have to be stupid to believe that shit to begin with. You have to be a moron. Yep, I bow down to Allah. Everyone, delete your comments as you go. It drives him nuts. Yes, it drives me nuts. You know what would really drive me nuts? If you actually made a reasonable argument and I look stupid, I couldn't answer for what you have to say. That would really drive me nuts. Hey, whatever little fantasy world you want to live in, able to relate to or understand you pedophiles at all. So all the weird little shit you do to make yourself feel better, it's not surprising anymore. It's just you guys are just fucking immature, like ignorant, arrogant, you know, pieces of shit. I don't. What else is there? I always think it's funny, like the compensation that you guys, the lengths that you guys do to compensate for not being able to have intelligent discourse is just, it's so interesting, and it's so telling. You know, it's. And then the thing where you like tell on yourself, where you know, because it wasn't you guys that was deleting your comments. It was just happening. I was doing it. I have a moderator on here who's deleting comments. Like, it's just so silly. And then you're so dumb, you come through and go, no, we do this. Wow. That's not normal. I don't remember seeing those before. Those clouds look fucking weird. It's just crazy, man. Yep. Meth-induced psychosis. Anytime Jews don't like what I'm saying, they go with mental issues, psychosis. I mean, literally, I just, it's so funny how, you know, the inbreeding has made them so stupid that they can't come up with new shit. So they just keep reusing the same old stuff. And it's that laziness, that stupidity that actually outs them more than anything else. Because you can easily go look and see for yourself sorry. I'm trying to pay attention to something. You can easily look and go see like how they just avoid everything. And I don't remember what I was saying, actually. That's why I'm trying to come up with something else. It's just amazing. The desperation. Oh yeah, the whole mental illness thing. Like, literally, it starts. That's the foundation of Zionism. The foundation of Zionism, the auto-emancipation pamphlet, where they flat out claim that anyone who doesn't support their supremacy must have some sort of mental deficiency, must have some sort of disorder, you know, and that's literally all they can do. They're just so weak and stupid, and it's once we realize that, like once you guys understand what I understand, it's gonna make the overthrow and the subsequent better life that we all. Oh, this motherfucking. Guess who's gonna lose his shit today? Have they called yet?
Who?
The school.
No. Jesus.
So I should just go, right?
You have to. You won't be able to do anything.
He loses his phone today, for sure. Oh man, what a dumbass. I'm not gonna lose it. I won't forget it.
It's gotta go in his backpack.
Every day, as soon as he gets in the car.
It has to. I've been telling him that. And I also told him, I said, it's mainly for your brother for next year. So
I know what you said. It's not mainly for his brothers, because he's a dumb shit.
Well, Nate forgets stuff way more than that.
Oh, I never met a dumb DUM person. Well, because they don't exist.
My favorite person.
I love how, like, dumb people who can't argue for Judaism start trying to argue against Islam or whatever.
And he goes, I'm gonna kill him. All of a sudden he holds up this morning here. So my husband is mad. To give Mr. Nicholas his badge.
Unless I don't need to.
Oh, you are an angel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, does he get like 30 lashes and let me
Oh, okay, that's better.
Mr. Miller just gave him a temporary nap.
Mighty white of him. Hi, little girl. Hello. Oh, hello. Hello, hello. Oh. I mean, it's just this stupidity is so thick here. It's weird. And how you don't see that, like changing the subject and not being able to argue for your thing makes your thing look that much worse is shocking. Like, what? At the end of the day, we are talking about absolute fucking stupidity. So I guess I shouldn't keep being surprised by it. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. It's weird that people can obsess over me so much and yet be so bad at what they do. How can you be so obsessed with me and not be able to fucking, still not be able to come up with anything better than this? But Judaism is poison. I understand why. Like, I understand why you can't, because it is awful. We aren't talking about something good, something righteous, something clean, something that makes things better. We're talking about the worst of the worst. and all these desperate attempts to, like, I mean, I don't even know what the connection is. Like, at no point have I ever encouraged anyone to be a Muslim. The only thing that Muslims have that nobody else does is loyalty. The Muslims are way more devout than any of the Christians are. Your average Christian is just a lazy piece of shit who doesn't even know their own thing. And at least your Muslims know it. They tend to know their shit, I mean, I guess. But they at least, like, shut down and follow the rules. You guys don't even follow your own rules. I have to go get something real quick. Oh, here you go. Why was the Kirk narrative and Christian values? How did we all just know that before we had any details? Let's stop falling for Charlie Kirk. It's just another operation. White people are now going berserk against those who are not complacent in the left and right invasion and the propaganda shown. That this sanitation, the sickness that we've known, has exponentially grown. And really, how could it not? Their cover has been blown since we were forced to take the shot. And Charlie Kirk was a plot device to move things forward. But what was that black spot on his collar seen to move towards his jugular after the code words gang violence?
Gang violence.
Charlie is just a slow turd, and the ass is nothing other than what his Mossad brothers continue to call their home. Israeli gravy smothers the Gaza rice that's all been cloned, since there's only sticks and stones to fight the genocidal bombs. It's time to break the chosen bones and call the Charlie Show the con that it is, and since the bond with our oppressor is unbreakable, we need to see what's going on, and that our food's what keeps their table full. I just want to kirk all of our enemies in blue and white with Ben Shapiro energy. The only thing that works is when we kirk the jerks and be the goyim pride that we are meant to be. So back to Charlie's shirt and whatever that thing was. Shouldn't we be more alert and call out what our system does? Whenever there's not enough love for the blood that Israel spills, they produce a biblical flood or put a slug in one of their shells. Which means Charlie wasn't killed by some goyim with a gun, and the wall we need to build will only ever be done when the goyim are as one. No silly sun gods being worshipped. The story being spun is just the web of lies we're cursed with. Every action has a purpose, a story, an agenda. They need you feeling nervous. That way you're willing to pretend the thing in Charlie's shirt was Splenda, and the truth is sugar sweet. But it's never bad to end a narrative we should defeat. Our freedom of speech should be speaking its mind, and saying Charlie can eat a bag of dicks from behind crosses no lines. He claimed Israel's blessed, and if they are divine, well then so is his death. I just want to kirk all of our enemies in blue and white with Ben Shapiro energy. The only thing that works is when we kirk the jerks and be the goyim pride that we are meant to be. The only way change happens is through kirking. The leaders who just laugh and are deserving of our violent goyim wrath that's so unnerving that the chosen choose the path and it's still working. So if Charlie turned on Israel, why didn't they seem to notice? Netanyahu has given full condolences, but know this. If anyone calls out the hopeless situation raging in Gaza, Israel's number one focus becomes causing them so much drama they run home to they mama while begging for forgiveness. So if Charlie went all Obama, he would be sleeping with the fishes. And I know that he already is, but I didn't mean that literally. I meant the friar hugs and kisses and the constant AIPAC chivalry would end just like when Hillary won but lost the election. And then she seemingly willingly disappeared like Bill's erection whenever she's undressing, since she's no teen on Epstein Island. And just like Charlie's quest for blessings, true change starts and ends with violence. But did he really die when and where they say? And who were those two guys sending signals like the play was just another JFK to make the country miserable? Because at the end of every day, we're all goyim slaves to Israel. I just want to kirk all of our enemies in blue and white with Ben Shapiro energy. The only thing that works is when we kirk the jerks and be the goyim pride that we are meant to be. Charlie Kirk, and Israel took him out. Their sacrifice only works when we are filled with doubt. And Israel's not about to Kirk one of their own. We're supposed to scream and shout while feeling nothing but alone. That boy bad. That boy bad.
We can do the impossible.
That boy bad.
Every day, the things once thought illogical, we prove and prove.
Operation Kirk. Don't forget the Hanukkah song, too. Funny how Adam Sandler spelled Hanukkah wrong. Hanukkah, the celebration of circumcision. You know, look at these dumbasses. Yep, I hope I recover from my addictions. Oh, look at all this shit, man. Look at all of these dumb-ass comments. I'm supposed to debate you on my Islam. See, guys, this is exactly what I'm saying, right? Always trying to change the point. Always trying to change the subject. Because there is no arguing against what I'm saying. Judaism is disgusting. It's vile. It's horrible. And it needs to be eliminated. Without Judaism, you don't have the other two. It's all bullshit. You're being duped from every direction. And when stupid people can't actually engage in this conversation, it freaks them out, I guess. I'm not really even sure. I mean, I know why the Israeli bots are here. I know why Timor is here. I know why the Jews want us to be one of two of the three Abrahamic religions. They don't want us to be the one, but they definitely want us to be, especially Christian. They need you to be Christian, especially here in the States, which is, if not for the United States, there wouldn't be an Israel. But it doesn't matter. Like, there's not a Christian on earth that can beat me in a debate. Right? There's not a Christian on earth that can even come close to touching me in a debate. Because there's nothing to use. Like, you can't. It'd be like debating someone on whether or not they can fly or not. You can't fly. It's go ahead and prove that you can fly. That would be my only thing. Just prove you can fly. Without a plane or some sort of device. I know there are smart asses out there. But fly. That would be the only real thing. Nobody would believe you if you said you could. Nobody would believe you. The only way you could ever convince anyone that you could fly is if you flew. And it's the same thing with religion, man. It needs to be. It should be. Of course it's not, but it should be. And you wonder, like, how are you tricked into giving up 10% of your paycheck? And, how you would think to overlook something that's so attached to pedophilia, something that's so attached to just the worst things, man. Just the worst. The church is associated with so many terrible, terrible things. You'd think that there would be some sort of evidence to go by. And yet, they never seem to have any. They don't even require it. they don't even require proof before they give up their money. And you saw it with the rapture talk that just happened. People were literally selling their shit off. Like I'm actually. It was weird to hear that they were selling their shit, and you just think, well, what do you mean? Why aren't you just giving it away? I wish I could have found one of those fucking morons. You know, I really wish I could have found one. I would have taken them for everything they had. Hell yeah, you're gonna get raptured, buddy. You don't need that TV, do you? You definitely don't need that car you're driving, or that couch, or that bed, or that kitchen table, or anything. Because I'll just sell all your shit. But you have no need for money. You're gonna get raptured. It's so weird. Like you just think like there's this piece of me that just obviously you don't believe in your own shit. Obviously you believe the part you want to believe because it makes you feel good or whatever. But you don't believe what you say. None of you none of you Christians believe what you say. I mean, especially when it comes to like females. Female Christians are the easiest to debunk because they shouldn't be here in the first place. And it's like, obviously you don't believe in the Bible, or else you wouldn't be saying anything to me. You know I have a penis, right? Having a penis entitles me to you shutting the fuck up. God gives you no permission to teach or have authority over a man. You are to keep silent. You don't like that part, so you just skip over it. Who cares about that? It's irrelevant. I mean, it's just so strange, right? Like I'm sorry you're too stupid to know your own belief structure. That's the thing. That's why you know they don't actually believe it. If people actually believed their shit, they would know it. If you knew that hell was real and heaven was real, and there's this book of rules that you have to follow to a T in order to avoid going to hell. I know you think like, oh, well, I'll just repent about all that stuff. But, who's to say that that's not exactly accurate or not? You would, if you knew that there was even the slightest, slimmest, little, tiniest chance that you would go to hell, you would do everything you could to ensure that never happened. You'd follow every goofy rule. You'd give every week. You'd do whatever it took. But you don't, because you don't actually believe it. You know that's bullshit. You know you're not going to hell, just like you know every single relative you have isn't looking down on you from up in heaven. People love to say that, but they don't, the reality of that just isn't true. And it's weird because there's the Jehovah's who talk about the 144,000 spots in heaven. And the Bible does mention something like that, but it's basically saying that only 144,000 Jews are going to go to heaven. Nobody else gets to go to heaven. Definitely not the Goyim, not the Gentiles. And they even mention it, like it's not for the Gentiles. It's the 12 tribes, 12,000 people each. Get that 144,000 bullshit. Like it's right there. It's like, why would you ever believe in something so stupid? Do you think you're part of the 144,000? It's not real. None of it's real. I'm going to tell you in the comments. I mean, it's an easy way out, isn't it? if you know talking to the actual person about what they're talking about is going to make you look stupid because you're going to lose the debate, then hell yeah, the comments are there just for you to focus on. Look how lucky you are. Oi, 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 oi. Can anybody say that if it weren't for the Bible, Christianity, blah, blah, that Israel would exist? Do you think it's even possible that without the giant Christian shitstorm that would come somebody's way, that Israel would even be a thought at this point? Israel wouldn't exist. We would have wiped that poison out a long time ago. Without specifics or yeah. I don't ever give you guys specifics. You know, like the auto emancipation pamphlet. Just because you don't know what I'm talking about doesn't mean it's fake. I'm sorry you're stupid. I really wish you weren't, because I think with intelligence becomes, comes freedom, comes righteousness. You'll do the right thing when you're smart enough to see it.
Talking about releasing dairy today.
I mean, you know what's gonna happen. Look at how dumb you guys are. I mean, to think that you're not going to address what's being said, and then you have the audacity to insist that I pay attention to you is just so weird. Nothing about your pitiful fucking piece of shit life is more important than ending Matitza Bapé. Like, I just find it, the fact that I am, from what I can tell, the biggest, advocate for Jewish children in the world. It's really strange. It goes against my own thought process. Like, I hate this cult. I want nothing to do with this cult. I want to eliminate this cult. But I definitely don't think that their children should be allowed to be, raped in ritualistic sexual abuse. I don't think that's okay. And if right, nobody should go through that. But I don't know of anybody else that it's so well documented. Like, I know there are rumors of all different sorts of groups that have all different sorts of horrible things. But the Israel Hayom Bottom of Darkness article, to me, is the most important article ever written. And it should be something that everybody knows about, like in Epstein. But nobody ever asked themselves, why do you think we know about Epstein? Epstein wasn't famous.
Yeah, no, that I actually have thought of it. Like, it just seems.
Well, of course you have. You've heard me say it a gazillion times. Whether it was consciously or subconsciously, it's, as soon as it's not about, like, ego in this regard. It's more about, like, it's truth. The toothpaste is out of the container. Once the toothpaste is out of the container, there's no putting it back in. So that just that thought process, grazing your brain. And you sit there and you just ask yourself, why do we know who Epstein is? I put it in the song. Fucking, But that was written shortly after he died, 2019. But the reality is, nobody should know who Epstein is. The only reason we know who Epstein is because they wanted us to.
Lots of rich people that you have no idea who they are.
Exactly. Lots and lots of rich people who do horrible things, get caught doing horrible things, and you never hear about it.
Or even those that don't do those that do wonderful things. You don't hear about it.
Yeah, but horrible things are that's what makes the news. You know, conflict is entertainment. The backbone of all entertainment is conflict. There's nothing that we do, that we watch, that we're interested in that isn't conflict based. And it's fucked up, you know, and that's what we've been taught to do and think from an early age. Whether it's the conflict of will Elmo be able to spell the word correctly, or it's, you know, what's the shape of the earth and who, you know, the death, doom, and gloom and you know, Armageddon and all that.
That's what naturally gets people's attention.
It's conflict. And none of you can tell me a single thing, a single show that you watch that isn't conflict based. I can't even think of a show that isn't conflict based.
Almost all the parents die.
Of course. Oh, Disney's rife with it. All sorts of conflict, all sorts of, like she says, there's always one parent that's dead, you know, there's kidnapping, there's, you know, it's just, it's fucking nuts. This is
Even
why
the
our
Big Fat Greek Wedding had conflict.
Of course it does. Comedies have conflict. All of them. Everything, even the funniest shit has conflict. They have to have some sort of conflict get resolved. The third act resolution. It's how we've been programmed to think.
I think it's more than that. I think it's how the brain naturally works.
I doubt it. I think if we weren't, you know, if we didn't live a conflict-based life, we wouldn't need to watch conflict. And conflict could then become, you know, how do we solve this? How do we fix that? It doesn't have to be somebody falls and smacks their head on the fucking pavement. You know, and of course there's always gonna be that shit for sure. But that's not the only thing that we want. But that's why, you know, movies are the same movie over and over again, just different characters, different setting. Same fucking plot. Because it's just part of that programming. Part of that crazy ass, you know, they need us to be so distracted by so much conflict and, you know, so many different things that you're not paying attention. I mean, it literally, if you look up some, you know, one of these pages where it's like, you know, what you missed in the last week while you were focused on Trump. Israel did this. Israel did this. Israel did this. Israel did this. You're being distracted by it. But Epstein, you know, Epstein is again, it's, you create this character that you've already used before. Epstein is Maxwell number 2. You know how this thing works. And you know, when the heat gets on, you take him out and then you apply all of the pedo stuff to him. And instead of everybody saying, you know, look at all the pedos everywhere, it's like, oh, we got one. Yay. And he's a high-ranking, powerful one. Who did he traffic to? That doesn't matter. We got him. It's how this whole thing works. And they give us who they want us to focus on. Kirk was created by Israel so they could kill him. Because they're not gonna sacrifice one of their own, that's for sure. The day you see some Ben Shapiro-esque openly Zionist Jew get shot on TV like that I'll quit. How about that? I won't quit for that. Yep. I am a Muslim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Right? Like this is that if you think Trump's an idiot, then you voted for Biden. It's how it's how this system works. It's how we're programmed to work. Because as long as they have you in one way or another, like people are stupid. They think, oh, well, I'm dumb enough to have fallen for the Trump and Biden thing. You must have too, right? I'm dumb enough to fall for a religion. You must fall for one too. But you say you don't like my religion? Oh, so you must like the other religion. It's just goofy. And as long as you give like you can argue against me being a Muslim, you're prepared for that. If I start saying Muslim, well, not really, because you might know one or two things, but I doubt it. But mentally, you believe in, I hate Muslims and 9/11 and blah, you have this in your head. When the funniest thing is, like the people that have harmed you the most in your own personal life are undoubtedly white Christian males. From an unseen level, it's the Jews, but whether you've been beaten up or you've been sexually assaulted or you've been teased or made fun of or whatever. You had a bully in school. More than likely, that person was a white Christian male. But you won't do that. You won't lump all white Christian males together because you're a white Christian male. And you'd have to lump yourself in there, so you can't. But like let well, this one time this transgender person was mean to me. So that means all transgenders are bad. You love doing that shit. And it's you know, it's what you have to do. It's like a defense mechanism, right? Because you can't argue the point, you make up something you believe you can argue. But you can't. You're not smart enough to argue any of it. You do your best, and your best is really bad. But at this point, I would absolutely support Islam and Christianity way before I'd support Judaism. Because it's not Christians or Muslims that have committed the atrocities throughout the years. And if they have, it's because they were manipulated by Jews. It's really obvious, right? You look up any sort of any narrative we're given and you take it far enough back and you're gonna see Jews. And it'll almost be funny how obvious it is. But it's all right there. It's not difficult. Yep, I said Christians are cool. So stupid. See, as always, you would think, like, if I'm wrong, then these people that are here determined to cause issue, would just focus on what I'm wrong about and just make me look stupid. And if you think they're just like sitting there waiting, they have this really great argument that they're sitting on, they're waiting for the right time to use it, they're not. They're making all the best arguments they can come up with. And that should show you something. The fact that Christians can't come through and make better arguments, Muslims can't, Jews can't. You can't argue with me that your religion is arrogance based. It's not logic. It's not reality. You with faith. Yeah, faith is arrogance based. Faith is arrogance. Faith is, I have faith in something that I can't prove because I want to. There's no reason to, you know. You just want to have that faith, so you do. And it's embarrassing. I can't imagine if I claimed to be a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or whatever, and somebody asked me, "Well, why do you believe in that thing?" And I was like, man, don't ask me those questions. Why? What are you? You are this person then? Blah, blah, blah. And I just started going off on some crybaby tangent. If you ask me why I don't believe in those things, I'm happy to tell you. And I'll provide you with way more information than you're prepared to argue, that's for sure. Look at me crying.
You need to clean it?
Yes, I do. I should pull one out of the bra stuff.
Like the tears.
Because I'm crying. Anyway, it does get boring. That's the only part I don't necessarily like. Like, I appreciate these guys being here because they're actually more valuable than people that are support me. My wife for years got away with, well, those are just your yes men. They'll just agree with whatever you say. Well, these guys aren't. These guys are here to cause issue. They're here to argue everything I say. Oh, yeah, it totally makes sense that the Pentagon was built in 14 months. Yeah, that makes sense in 1941. Yeah. Like, they're going to argue no matter what it is. The fact is, they don't sit here and agree that we should kill pedos, that we should overthrow the system that has us slaves.
As Americans attacking pedophiles.
We need to stop attacking pedophiles, according to Cruz.
Fucking piece of shit.
Did you figure out what he supposedly meant to say?
No, because he's not walking it back. He's not saying, I meant to say this. What else could he possibly have meant to say with that statement? Where could he have gone with that wouldn't have been that?
I mean, the only thing I can think...
My boss.
I can only think, like, stop defending pedophiles? I'm not really sure.
No, because then he would have definitely walked it back immediately if he meant the opposite.
Right.
Or at least corrected it the next day when he sees all the journalists making fun of him. No, that's not one that you let slide if you're completely feeling the opposite way. That wasn't, it was more than a Freudian slip.
You gotta put in the sweat and be ready for anything if you want to.
Whether it was, I mean, it was telling.
Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rapes? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles? I want you to look at what happened.
What?
Okay, that wasn't a slip. He meant that.
Okay, so it says Ted Cruz is...
People trying to excuse him?
Stop attacking pedophiles. Slip.
It wasn't.
Sparks viral attention. Has he acknowledged it was a slip?
Right.
Ted Cruz is getting... Oh, fuck.
You don't let that go if you didn't mean that.
Ted Cruz is getting a drubbing on social media after he misspoke Tuesday at a Senate. Again, where is this?
He didn't misspeak. People are trying to excuse his nonsense.
Yeah, let's go.
He's probably on the fucking lists too.
So wait. I just did news on this, and then when I click search by date, it did this. That's really weird.
That's not a mistake. is a whopping mistake.
Ted Cruz.
If it was,
The senator did not correct himself after the air and instead moved on to discuss Donald Trump's decision to deploy National Guard to the Washington, D.C. Cruz is making an impassioned speech about reaching bipartisan agreement on the crime before he made the blunder. How are we going to get? They stop murders, let's stop rain. How we stop attacking the president? The campaign went on. President, the candidate went on to claim that the deployment of National Guard had led to this reduction in crime, blah, blah, blah. Some social media users have noted the irony of Cruz's gaffe as the politician voted against an amendment that would have forced the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. No, how about you stop protecting them? Release the files now. One ex-user wrote, just one random user that this newspaper decided to quote. Cruz previously told Piers Morgan that he wants the government to release everything related to the Epstein case. I love how they all, like, sort of say the right thing and then throw up their hands like, well, we want it to all get released. We do. We really want it to. Right. We just can't get
make
it.
it happen.
Come on, we can't. And then the people
What
that are
ineffective jerks are they then? Get out of there.
right, the people that are in power that are making this, why are we like, okay, you're still allowed to be here then?
Right. If you're that ineffective, you need to go.
Not just that, but the people that are actually defending it, the people that are voting against it. Like, you are not, it's not just ineffective, you're very effective. You're effectively preventing this stuff from coming out. So why are you still here?
Why are you defending it?
We know why you're defending it. This comes down to a common sense thing. You have to answer the question for yourself. Either they're guilty of it themselves, or they're so fucking selfish that they're not willing to, risk all of the good that comes their way.
They have friends on the list.
Friends on the list and all that. I mean, they're just at
Or
the
they've
end of
been threatened. Let's face it, some of that's gone on.
I disagree. I don't think they need to be threatened. I don't think you get to that position without having already proven yourself. You've already proven, like, they're never.
There's newbies and everything.
Yeah, those newbies, they've been proved. Those newbies aren't just like some kids out of high school that just get a fresh job. Those people have been to, if you're young enough and you're elected to some sort of position, it's because you knew somebody. It's because your family members you've been in that circle for a long time. But I don't think they're going to risk it. I don't think they're going to risk giving somebody power who might slip up and say something or turn against them. It wouldn't make any sense. I really don't think virtually anybody that we see on TV isn't part of the thing. If they're on TV. Nobody's on TV accidentally spilling beans and shit. We only knew about Epstein because they wanted us to. We only knew what Kanye said about the Jews because they wanted us to. Nobody follows Kanye. Nobody gives a shit about what Kanye says. And it just so happened that while we were all distracted by Kanye, Netanyahu, Bezalel Smotrich, Itmar Ben-Gvir, Avi Moaz, and the rest of the most openly supremacist coalition to ever govern in Israel was being put in office. While they're doing the operation to teach us what happens when we speak out against the Jews, they're putting the Jews in power. There's nobody on TV that's trustworthy. There's nobody that's in a position of power that's trustworthy. They didn't get there without, like, this. I think, again, you guys are like, I don't know, it's just stupid. Like, you're underestimating our system. Do you really think the government apparatus can't vet people to an extreme level? I mean, you watch the shows all the time. Granted, those are TV shows, but it's based in truth. Nobody comes across the government platform and they're like, gee, who's this person? Well, let's just give them some power and see what happens. No way. It's just like it's East Coast Hollywood. You know when you're watching something in a movie or something like that, every single detail in the movie is there on purpose. You know, everything was decided. Each set was built specifically. There wasn't accidentally, you know, this tree that grew here or, you know, whatever. And if it's a natural setting, they've selected it because it fits all of their parameters. Yeah, you might get the random shooting star or some shit. But nowadays, all they have to do is digitally add them. Trump is fucking insane. The insanity of this man, him tweeting out fake fucking videos, deep fake videos of government members. Like, he is just a lunatic. Did you see his address to the military people, where he was talking about how, you know, Obama used to go up the stairs really easy, but he has to use the railing and da da da. Like, oh man, it's insane. It's insane the shit this man was saying.
He's truly delusional. Like,
He is just
fucking a nutcase. I don't see how people can listen to him talk and go, yeah.
I don't think they do.
They do.
I don't think they
You
actually
watch these
listen.
maggots listen to him and cheer.
They
It
listen
is-
and cheer, but it's like they shut off and they just cheer when they hear the rest of the people cheer. Because if you ask those same Trumpanzees,
Hello?
if you ask the same Trumpanzees what the fuck, you know, why do they support Trump to begin with? They have nothing. They don't know. They don't know anything. They don't know anything good that he's done. They don't know anything bad. Like, they're just it's a bunch of NPCs, man. It's NPCs. And you just, you know, it's up to you to prove that you're not. It's up to you to get those glasses. Get you that free guy. Look at this shit. God, man, these guys are just dumb. It's just dumb nonsense over and over again. How am I wrong and yet nobody can address anything I'm wrong about? It's so strange. It's so motivating. You know, if I was constantly made to look like I was wrong and oh shit, I forgot my tea. Constantly losing the argument, then it would be a whole different story. But the fact that it's just this persistent ass kicking, you know, it's weird. I don't know why it would deflate me in any sort of way. You know, it's there's no effort. There's no argument to say. Like, you want me to what? Believe the nothing that you believe? You don't even know what you believe. Most of you are too dumb to know anything about your own belief structure. And it's just like, how can you then believe in it? You think you'd want to know more. You think you'd want to be more intelligent. You want to be more prepared. If somebody comes and challenges your belief structure, you think you'd want to, for your own personal, like, salvation, your own personal, you know. It's funny. it's weird. Like as a kid, I knew this. And as a kid, I was smarter than you. And that's a weird thing. Like, kids are dumb. But as a kid, I knew that, like, I'm not just going to believe something because somebody tells me to. And I guess that's only true to a certain degree because I did believe, all of it. Other than religion, I believed it all. I believed we went to the moon. I believed the earth was round. I believed all that shit. We vote the president in and all that shit. I believed it. And really, to think like I had no concept of Israel. I just didn't know anything about it. I knew that's where the Jews lived. I knew like that they were attacked. They were the victims. And that'd be about it. Nothing you say is true. Yep. Instead of picking any individual thing and pointing it out and saying, this isn't true. It's nothing. We should kill pedophiles. Not true. We should overthrow the system that keeps us slaves and nope, that's not true. We should stop the genocide. That's not true. It's just stupidity, man. It's fucking stupidity. You could keep posting the same shit. I don't give a fuck about your Islam argument. Like I don't even understand. You can't be dumb enough to think I'm a Muslim. Well, I guess you can. I mean, it's Ellie. It's the Ellie profile, and if the Ellie profile has proven anything over the last 6-8 months, it's that she, in quotation, she is dumb as fuck, dumb and desperate, and it's I don't know what else to say. Arguing the legitimacy of Islam is as dumb as arguing the legitimacy of Christianity. The only difference is, at least the Muslims don't say a completely different religion is their Christian God's chosen people. Like that's so stupid on like such a different level.
Most of them don't even realize that, though. That's the even dumber.
They don't, but they do. Like most of them will tell you Jesus was a Jew. They know that.
Yeah, but they don't. They're not like understanding what they're saying when they say the shit.
See, my wife is doing the same thing. Like she's trying to rationalize it.
Sounds all beautiful, but then when you actually like think about what that means and what they mean by saying it, and then it becomes like this what the fuck kind of thing. But most Christians don't think that deeply.
I don't think
they can't go to church and believe the shit they're being fed.
Most Christians don't know their shit. They don't even know what they're arguing.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why they get mad. Because they have to not know.
Right.
Like she said, if they started reading and actually as an adult reread the Bible and tried to prove it true to themselves, they would fail miserably.
And they don't want to shake their faith. It's a subconscious defense mechanism.
Exactly. Exactly. But, those are also the same Christians that don't camp out on my feed and beg for attention. It's the Christians that are here that seemingly want the argument, but they just can't handle it, I guess. I don't know. It's always funny to me, man. Just how desperate and stupid they are. But, heard this a long time ago. The studies have shown this over and over again, that people that grow up in religious households have a harder time grasping reality than people that don't. And it's, you have been programmed with such incredible stupidity from such a young age. You're not even capable of doing it. Like, it's so strange, and it's like you have like this monkey, primal primate reaction to being challenged.
Well, you have your own
You start yelling and having a temper tantrum.
that's pulling at you that you know no conscious value of is you're also then challenging their tie to their family, their history, tradition.
Like it's supposed to.
It's like so it's hitting on so many levels. It's just such an effective,
Right.
sick tool.
Well, because as soon as you realize like how dumb Christianity
Your
is,
family dumb.
right, now your whole family's dumb. Now you have to say to yourself, like out loud, my mom and dad are fucking idiots.
And people are not comfortable doing that.
Which is weird. It's such a weird thing. Like, even before I didn't have relationships with them, I still knew they were idiots.
You also had a much different upbringing. A lot of people were more sheltered than you were.
Yeah, for sure. But more of my shit just came up through personal experience. I was alone a lot. My mom worked a lot, and I was home. I was latchkey. I had to figure things out on my own. I didn't get that ride to school. I didn't. I had to walk. Literally had to walk in the snow both ways, a good mile every day to school. There was no hills. I will say that. But it's the same thing you do with like everything, right? Like, if I'm gonna cook a chicken dinner, I'm not gonna wash a bunch of beef and cut up a whole bunch of ingredients that I don't need, and you know, I'm gonna find the best recipe and then do it the best way possible. And then the next time I do it, I'm gonna take with it what I learned the time before that and improve on it and improve on it and improve on it until I get to where I'm comfortable that this is my thing and this is what I came up with, and it's based on other shit, but this is what I came up with. And and if I'm watching TV and I see a little trick on a TV show that you should try this with your chicken. Oh, well, fuck, I'm going to try that next time. I'm going to try all these different things until I get to this I'm always going to try new things. And I don't understand why people don't do that. I mean, if you try something new and it's not as good as the old way, guess what? You could just do it the old way. You don't have to continue doing it the other way just because you started doing it that way.
There's a fine line there.
Where?
There's also you tried something, it turned out really great, so
right.
Why change it?
Because you tried something and it turned out really great. Meaning, you might try something else that's even better. And if you feel like having the great version, well, then do it the great way. But see, now if talking about a recipe, that's one thing. If we're talking about life stuff, the only reason you would ever be trying new stuff is because the stuff that's working right now isn't working so well. If you can honestly say, well, I'm fucking happy, I wouldn't change anything. It's great. My life's great. Well, then who am I to say don't do that shit anymore? But I don't know anybody like that. I've never met anybody like that. And once you have kids, I don't even know how that's even possible. That worry is something awful. such an awful feeling. I think I've done a good job of convincing my oldest not to have kids, so I don't have to worry about grandchildren. But my youngest still thinks he wants to, and it's like, what are you doing? Let the line die. It's okay. I don't mind. Unless you're planning on being a fucking millionaire. And even then, it's still going to suck.
It's the worry. It's more than just financial.
Yeah, but a lot of the financial worry, or a lot of the worry can be fixed through finances, but then there's still a lot of other stuff that can't be. But still, I would rather have the worry, just the worry that without the financial worry. It's better to just have the normal worry than have the financial worry on top of it. And that's what I mean. Like, you should be improving and improving and improving and improving. Sometimes you're not going to be able to clean the basement in one shot. So do it for days. Sometimes you're not going to be able to, ride the bike on the first try. Like,
oh, the riding of the bike is one of the biggest work. There's
she's a nut.
70% of the accidents your kids have are on bikes.
No, 70% of the accidents you had were on bikes.
No, that's the statistics, not me.
I disagree. But I just, we live in this world where, like, people value, I don't know, people hide behind the, like, it's tradition. It's the way I was raised. It's they hide behind that to excuse negative shit. And it's never a reason like, well, just because my mom did this or my dad did that, why should I do it? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it makes things worse, it makes things worse. So why do we do them? It's so weird trying to get people to realize, like, your parents are just people. You know how much you care about the people across the street and 5 houses down? Who? Exactly. They're the same thing. They're just important to you because, you came out of them. But at the end of the day, they're just dumb people. They're not special. They're just regular people with fucking all sorts of flaws and bad programming and all kinds of shit like that. It's like people taking advice from religious leaders. If your religious leader is a virgin, why are you taking marital advice from them?
That one always stumped me.
Or really any sort of life advice. Like if as soon as you find out somebody is a virgin in real life, you automatically think of them as like, whoa, that's weird. How do you, you must be, I'm not going to take advice from you.
How the fuck would you know?
Right? And so the same thing goes with like when it comes to religious people, especially like, the pastors or not the pastors, but the, the clergy that literally live at the church. And it's like, they don't pay bills.
Yeah, they have no concept.
They have no concept of struggle.
They know what it's like to be poor and not go on lavish vacations and buy the, best of the food. They know that.
Because they choose to. And that's still,
they
that's...
don't know what it's like to not have any food.
And it's not even that, like, the illusion of them not living a good life is pretty tiresome.
For sure, but the majority of the clergy are the servants to those that take advantage and live the best life.
Yeah, but like even if you have on the
don't have shit.
If you have on the reverend uniform or the nun uniform and you go to a restaurant, you automatically get the best service. If the cooks find out that the food's going to you, then you're gonna get the best cut.
People will be on their best behavior around you. That is a trade-off for not having
Not just best behavior, but they're gonna kiss your
sex,
ass.
alcohol, you know.
They're gonna kiss your
vacations.
ass. They're gonna suck up and give you the best for whatever. Like somehow you have this weird position, and I just, why would we ever elevate such weird people? If you can override your biological urges just so you, like, why would God want you to do that? Who decided all that? Like, and then when you actually like look into it and you're like, well, actually it's so that all of your possessions and all that can stay with the church, so that none of your wealth, nothing you acquire throughout your lifetime gets passed on to an heir. You're supposed to leave it all to the church, and that's why they made the rules like that. It's like that's the truth. So when you know that's what it is, why would you ever do it? It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a joke.
A lot of people consider it an honor.
Yeah, but those are weird people. It's never Johnny Cool Guy who goes to become a fucking, a religious person.
Actually, my cousin Perry
Yeah.
was a player, the cool kid, all that. Nobody thought he was going to be a priest. And now he's a priest.
Yeah, well, he obviously has some skeletons in his closet. Because if he's going to overlook what he's overlooked, like, I just...
Oh, her brother, for their brother Mike to overlook
any of it.
what his sisters went through is just unbelievable to me.
Uh-huh.
Which is why they don't speak with him.
And the thing is, it's like, so, how did we get here? How did you get to the point where you could be that programmed that you can find out obviously this is some fake bullshit, and you still just continue to, it's arrogance, man.
Well, and even
Arrogance and fear-based arrogance.
my cousin Moose, all he posts is Jesus stuff and God stuff and amen this, and it is
Right, because he feels so guilty about being such a fat piece of shit.
But his nieces were fucking molested by the church.
And then cover up.
Here's some money, shush. Don't talk about it.
And that's your best option, because nothing else is going to take a couple.
Right.
And then you get molested every time you spend that money.
Right.
Because you feel dirty. But I think that all has to do with, that's just what they do to us. It's all part of the...
But then again, he ignores his fucking children doing what they've done. So, of course he's going to ignore the priest molesting his nieces.
Of course.
So.
That's why people are still Trump supporters. The only way you support a pedo is if you're a fucking pedo or a deviant of some sort. If you have shit in your closet that you would want people overlooking, then you'll be like, well, we can overlook his shit. There's no doubt in my mind. I hate saying it.
I hate saying it.
Well, but the reality is, like, this is that thing. I say this damn near every fucking video I do. You guys just underestimate how bad the pedo problem really is.
It's so much worse.
It's at least half of the people that we know.
Existed, but I had no idea.
And you still have no idea.
How rampant it's.
Right. You have an idea, like you have an idea. You have an idea of how bad it is, and it's really, really bad. But it's you don't know. It's worse than you think.
I almost don't want to know the reality.
Right.
That's how bad it is.
Because that means, a close family member of yours, somebody you consider to be a really good friend, it's like that. That's how bad it is. Multiple neighbors, it's everywhere.
It really is bad.
It's the only way it can like the only way that you have so many
How can that many
pedophile
people
hunters
be
out there.
that miswired? I don't understand.
It
Is it the vaccines? Is it what is it? What is rotting people's brain to cause them to do that? I don't get it.
I mean, TV has been their greatest weapon forever.
Like,
And
if it was
TV has
one
told
in every
us
100,000, that'd be one thing, but it's more than that.
TV has told us, oh yeah, it's one in every like 15.
It's
5. One in every 2. But our TV, especially for the generations up until very recently, has basically told us, like, if she says no, you got to be more persistent. And you're a failure as a man if you don't get her to fucking
the chase.
do something for
They
you.
call it the chase.
Well, the chase is fun. There's no doubt about, like, when you're
Sends a subliminal message.
but it is a chase. There's no doubt. When you're in that pre-stage where you're just, you like each other a lot, and you're dropping other things to that's cool, and you're trying to get that person to like you as much as you like. That part's cool. But there's a difference between chasing somebody who's chasing you back and chasing somebody who is not interested in you. And that's the thing, is like, I always refer back to the Mary Tyler Moore episode, specifically because Mary Tyler Moore was supposed to be like this champion of women. And in this one episode, this really Jewish guy decides he likes her. She's not attracted to him. She doesn't like him, but she goes out with him as a favor, and he he's just obnoxious. She has this silk calendar on the wall, and he writes on it that by this day we will be married, and like it's just this awful episode. And he takes out a billboard across from where she works. He shows up at her work and handcuffs himself to her, and but he handcuffs himself to her, and he's like, all right, well, the only way you get out of here is if the maitre d' at this restaurant has the key, so we have to go have lunch first. So she like doesn't call the cops. She just begrudgingly goes with him on this lunch date. And when they leave, all the guys in the office were like, yeah, you got to be persistent sometimes. My wife told me no 50 times before she actually went out with me, and it's just weird. It's just such a strange thing. But then it's also, look at the gypsies, right? The gypsies have a thing called grabbing.
So fucked up.
And of course, these are teenage girls. These are 14, 13, 15-year-old girls.
Yep. That look like grown women. Come on now.
For sure. Well,
and not their faces.
Not their faces, like in the face, the facial structure, but they're definitely worn. But they go to parties, and the dude, if he likes the girl, he grabs her and like grabs her and pulls her off to the side, and his job is to get a kiss from her. You got to get a kiss from her. And her job is to sort of resist, and then at some point it becomes awkward, I guess. And then if they don't like each other, because the hotter the girl, the more often she's grabbed, and she has to fight her way out, and all this other. It's nuts. And then they do the whole. Right, and they do the whole like the biggest event in the girl's life is her wedding because that's when she goes, her daddy gives her to her husband. She goes from being her daddy's property to her husband's property, and now she's gonna live in her trailer for the rest of her in a caravan. Not just a trailer. Like trailers can be nice. These caravans are incredibly small.
They're so tiny.
It's like it's a camper. It's like a 70s camper. They're tiny. And they spend, $30,000 on these weddings for these girls who a common theme for their dresses is Disney princess. Gee, I wonder why. Cuz they're little fucking girls
So weird.
and they're spending $30,000 on a wedding and not buying a fucking nice caravan at the very least. And the thing is, the bigger the dress, the better it is. You have to outdo everyone else.
Particularly
And
partial to the hair with the blue.
terribly partial. She's terribly partial to the periwinkle blue. Can't check me on the snatch quotes. I watched that movie so.
Particularly would have been funnier.
Would have been harder to say.
Uh-huh. Making it funny.
We're just so manipulated. And it's weird to see it like having kids and seeing like wanting them to not be that way. Like don't let the world dictate who you are and all that, but then remembering what it's like to be a kid and how shitty the other kids can be. It's a strange thing, man. I hate that my kids are at school. I hate the system that we have. I don't think school is a bad thing. I just think the school that we have is awful. But it's also
School systems.
the result of the kids. The kids are awful.
The parents are awful.
The parents are awful. The parents are often.
Don't tell. You can't say no to your kid.
No, you can't say no to my kid. I can say no to my kid.
Well, no.
You can't say no to my
generation
kid.
You shouldn't say no to your kids anymore. Is who's raising kids now.
Right, but their whole thing is you can't say no to my kid. Don't you tell my kid no. Don't you say nothing to my kid. No. The whole it takes a village thing is gone.
Which is fucked up because look at what
It takes a village.
It
takes a fucking village.
100%. It's too goddamn hard out there right now.
It's just getting worse. But
God
so
help
there's
each other.
there's something to be said about the narrative we're given, right? And the narrative we're given is that every 30s, the late 20s is this time of absolute turmoil. And then the 30s, there's this rebuild that happens and things get really good for a while. And that's what supposedly, if you believe our history, that's what the 1930s were. That we had the Great Depression and all that shit. It's so hard to do anymore. And that's what the 1830s were, 1730s. That's what they say. People talk about I was thinking about it the other day. I'm not scared of AI.
Oh, it's awful.
I'm not scared of it. I believe that AI will, I've put out more than enough content for AI to realize I'm one of the good ones. And I don't, obviously everything I've done is cataloged and I mean there are the trolls that make compilations about me. If the trolls can do it, the system can do it. And so I just, if AI is real, I'm not going to fear it. It does suck, because who knows, the thing is,
It's getting harder to discern reality, and that's what's fucked up.
but our entire existence, our lives, our genetic lives, our parents, our grandparents, we've always been told that if the computers take over, they're going to launch the nukes and kill us all.
I mean, if I were the computers with artificial intelligence and no emotional attachment, I'd do the same thing. We're parasites.
I wouldn't. There's plenty of us that are good.
The law of averages.
No, that's not, and if the computer doesn't have power hunger, and it's truly about, eliminating whatever is the negative, well then, you're going to get rid of the cults. You're going to get rid of the genocide, committers. You're going to get rid of the ritual sexual abusers. AI is going to be able to find your encrypted this, that, and the other, your whatever account that you were using. I don't know. I don't know. I know right now we need to be focused on the genocide that's happening and how can we prevent it. To me, the only way that I think we can prevent it is by shining the brightest light we can on the entire truth surrounding it. We have to understand that this is part of the cult. This is what they do. And their sole motivation is cult purposes. Listen to Netanyahu speak. He is a psychopath. And not only is he a psychopath, everybody that's clapping for him, supporting him, working with, they're all psychos too. They have to be. The APAC thing is just, it's what you should be focused on. If not for APAC controlling the United States, then Israel wouldn't be able to commit the genocide it does. It's just, it's Jenga, man. You just pull out the pieces until it falls down. But it's all the same thing. We just have to override. And how anybody doesn't, if you don't agree with that, then you should be able to explain why you don't agree with that. And this is, we're talking about, we're talking about like life and death, for real life and death. And I don't see what is.
He's supposed to call me.
You are better than they've made you into believing. You should be saying these things. You should be proud of your anti-Semitism. One of the things they've been very good about doing is making the good thing, making the solution seem like the problem. Oh, one world government, one world government. There's always been a one world government.
I'll text you. Okay.
A one world government controlled by us is the solution, where everyone has the same rights. Everyone has the same opportunities. Imagine how much good could come from freeing up $3.8 billion at the beginning of every year. And then all the rest of the money that gets sent to Israel throughout the year. Imagine how much good that could do here. I mean, my wife watches all these dumbass NCIS kind of shows, and it's insane how many times the show is, Israel is somehow in some sort of crosshairs or something, and they're the victims, and They've been programming this shit into us for years. It's time we move past it. It's time we be who we're supposed to be here.
Wait. Sorry, lift my thumb.
Go get your free download, www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. All the links are in the description. There's receipts. There's links to the music videos on Facebook. Like that page, share that page, sub. Like, share, and sub here. Go. There's a link to the Israel Hayom article. And it's going to kick you off time and time again. It's going to make it really difficult for you to read it, but you need to read that article. It is the most important article ever written. There's also the Hollywoodism link, which is the most important film ever created. You need to go watch these things because they tell you the truth from their perspective. That's the trick. It's from their perspective. It's not some goyim like me. It's them telling on themselves.
Hello?
So go check those things out. Like, share, and sub. Like, share, and sub here. Blah, 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 blah. Have yourself a great day. And most importantly, you pedophiles, fucking kill yourself.